are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
I am not the host of this program and produce it. This is Tyler Allen. We'll pick up with the second half of Chris Bowers' story from the first bit with our special guest, Todd Mccomas. Enjoy. Peace.
Oh shit, special guest bombing in.
God damn.
Wait, am I opening? Wait,
to the audio.
Wait, am I still just opening for Todd? God damn
Yeah,
it. Listen.
you're still in the middle.
But anyway, so to finish the story real quick, so I said to Chrissy, I go, look, Angela, my second wife, our anniversary was November 20th. Can we just make our anniversary November 20th so I don't have to remember a second date? And Chrissy was like, yeah, that's cool. So basically we just stole our second wedding anniversary and made it our anniversary. So like the first year I was like, happy 5-year anniversary to Chrissy. And my second wife was like, did you steal our anniversary and give it to your new girlfriend? I'm like, yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
What blows my mind, you were on the podcast with Todd and Marnie, the For Life podcast, and you were describing how just her attitude to life is just, I don't care. Other people probably don't care. So here we go. Let's go. You know, and that's that kind of attitude I love so much. My wife does not maintain that attitude, but I appreciate that you have Chrissy for that.
Yeah, Chrissy and I don't give a fuck about much, which is nice. It's nice when you don't care about anything.
If Chrissy was alive during like the Wild Wild West, during the first, migration into the West, and she was in that caravan of wagons, being led by horses, and then attacks would come from like, Native Americans or whatever, and she would just afterwards she'd be like, guys, it's fine. What did we think was going to happen? They were here first. like it would be.
But no, she'd be the kind of person that she'd get kidnapped by the Native Americans or whatever, and we'd like go searching for her, like, oh my God, I hope she's not dead. And she'd be like in a circle smoking a peace pipe with them, like, hey, come and meet the fellas. They're fucking awesome. This is fucking Sitting Bull. This is Crazy Bear. This is fucking Swingle Nuts. We don't talk to him a lot. He's weird. Like fucking.
Hi, Todd.
Yeah,
What's up,
buddy?
Thanks for messaging me. How long have you guys been doing this? About
an hour 45, probably. Well, that's not true. Marco was 45 minutes late. So once Marco got here, so we probably only been doing this about 20 minutes.
Yeah. Nice. Marco's always late.
He's late to fucking everything.
I believe the last
Marco
time...
runs on Mexican time, so fuck all y'all for racial matters me. Or whatever.
Did you mean like the actual time zone, or?
I want Mexican time, and by that I mean Pacific.
It was a nightmare, like I said before, trying to figure that out. Marco could not grasp the concept.
However, Mexico is Central Time Zone, so fuck all y'all.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Is it?
It really
Not all.
is, yeah.
Some of it.
How do you not make it?
You're full of shit, Marco.
How do you not make
Look
it?
it up. Look it up.
Cozumel's on Pacific time, isn't
Yeah,
it?
the Baja California portion has.
Oh, fuck that part of Mexico. That don't count. You know what? As a matter of fact, California, you guys can have all that shit. I don't want it.
Oh, fuck.
I don't think you get to claim any part of Mexico. You were born and raised in fucking Iowa.
Whatever.
Like, you're not even a border kid.
And by the way, he's not even Mexican. He's just from Iowa, and he's tan, so he's a minority.
Hey,
Like, your dad can't say that.
Hold on. I also did Todd's roof. That makes me Mexican.
Oh.
Yeah, and Sean Latham didn't count. I was like, no, we got to find a real Mexican. Like, let's call Marco.
How's that roof holding up?
Great. Yeah,
There
it
we go.
doesn't leak at all. We can sit out there in the rain. It's a gem, dude. You did it right.
Has there been a day since that thing's been built that you have not been there, like at the bar?
No, not at all.
That's
I
awesome.
at least go out there in the morning.
Other than when we were in
coffee.
Wisconsin, but yeah. That's
Oh yeah,
other than
unless we were away.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Wisconsin, by the way, was fucking. How fun was that? Did you guys talk about that already?
A little bit,
A
yeah.
little bit.
Jesus, that was a good time.
That was a great time.
I don't think Marco and I understood how many shots we took that night until the next morning when our girlfriends told us how many shots we took with you guys.
Yeah, because you guys kept buying shots, and then every time you guys would buy a round, either one of you, Bree would hand it to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do her shot and my shot, and Tanner was in the same boat.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Well, it's the classic comedy move on Saturday is in your brain and amongst each other, you're like, we're going to take it easy because we got a long drive tomorrow. And next thing you know, you're fucking swallowing mushrooms and heading to the bars. And you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah, and then tipping the bar $300 to shut the doors and letting us stay in half hour extra.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Wait,
that was
did
Todd's
happen?
move. That was Saturday night. Yeah,
We
your
did
night.
not do that.
No, we were there
Saturday
Friday.
night.
We were there Friday.
You were both there Friday? Okay.
That's right. I forgot
so
about that.
Saturday night we went out and there was a bar in the corner that one of the open micers was the bartender for the club.
Oh, nice.
And he basically was like, we went over there and he's like, all right, guys, we got to close. Reverend Todd's like, I'll give you $300 to fucking shut the windows and let us stay an extra half an hour. So he's like, pulled down this garage door and shut the curtains and fucking served us another fucking round of drinks and made us a pizza. It was fucking awesome.
It's Wisconsin. You could have offered him like a round of beers and then I'm like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, afterward I was like, I probably could have got that done for like $50.
Yeah.
Probably.
We need those road stories from you guys doing the road together.
Yeah, I told him the story of me jumping out of the trunk shirtless. I already told him that story.
That was the most epic. And then later, the guy we were with punched this, like sucker punched this fucking cowboy in the face. Did you tell him that part?
No, I didn't tell him that part.
Just reaches over my shoulder and punches this dude in the face and connects good. So the guy like goes down, but not like down to the ground. He just kind of swings downward. And the time he comes back up, Mike is fucking gone. He beelined it to the fucking door and took off running all the way back to the hotel. So he looked up, he's like, who hit me? And I was like, I don't know, bro, but we'll buy you some shots and let's start drinking. And we just partied with those dudes for the rest of the night. It was awesome. Yeah.
Was Bowers with you when you came to Minot, Wisconsin? Was that part of the road trips?
It was a friend of ours, Kevin Hoover.
Kevin.
Yeah, he went. Kevin Hoover. So here's a little background. He was a buddy of ours. Came up very strict religiously. Like his family is really big into their church, and he was. And
then married a super religious girl. And had
all this
couple daughters.
Yeah. So he starts separating a little bit. His family wasn't pleased with it. We started doing comedy. He had a lot of talent. Like he was a guitar comic too. So he had this one song that was a big hit called "Fuck Facebook," and it was really good. And then so I take him on the road because he was starting to get to that level where he could feature. And then they put us in this hotel that looked just like the Bates Motel. And like it had like a one long building with like 6 units in it, and then this big house behind it. So we're there, and we get back after the show. The people there were like, "Hey, let's go to the bars," and I was like, "Well, where are the bars?" And it's like a fucking 20-mile drive to the only bar in the area, and it's on a lake. We go there and party, and this girl comes back with me to the hotel. And the walls, like our headboards shared a wall, where Kevin was. And this girl, like basically almost like jumped through the wall during this little sesh that we had. And the next day he was like, God damn it, man. I thought you were going to come through the fucking wall on there. And I was like, that wasn't me, dude. That was that little girl, that little 5-foot girl from over there. And he was like, at one moment, he's like, I woke up and I would have swore like there were raccoons fighting outside my window. It's like what it sounded like. And I had to get up and walk around. And I was like, oh, I think he's having sex.
Well, that part of that's because most of your lovemaking is animus, Todd. You guys, there's a lot of fighting that goes into you fucking. Like whenever you date somebody, a lot of arguing until you fuck. That anger is what, not anger, but arguing is what makes Todd's fuck fuel more, right? I'm not that. I'm gonna stroke your hair and you're pretty. I don't want to yell or scream or nothing. You know what I mean? I'm a tickler, not a fighter. But fucking Todd, man, he's fucking.
Todd wants an MMA session in.
Let's get into an argument first. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, we're gonna argue for 45 minutes on who put the bottle opener where, and then we're gonna fuck.
God.
Way to
It's
get
not on
that
top of the
party.
fridge. I put it on top of the fucking fridge last goddamn night. I know when I cleaned up. Well, it's not here fucking now. I don't fucking know. Do you want to fuck now?
You know damn well that Todd and Marnie can't reach the top of the fucking fridge.
But we also know that at the end of 1041, every time they record, they definitely go have a sesh too, because that's about all they do is argue.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Seems like you guys are always fucking ready to kill each other after any podcast you do.
She's just so fucking bullheaded about shit. Like, literally, we had a fight a little bit ago because I was like, hey, I want to get a whiteboard in here in the studio. And she was like, there's one out in the garage. And I was like, I don't have wall space to like screw it into the wall. I want one that stands up on legs and is on wheels so I can move it into the weight room when I'm not using it, bring it back in here. And she flipped her fucking lid. You're not going to junk up the weight room. I'm the only one that uses it. And I don't want to be stepping around it. And I'm like, there's fucking a bench and a preacher curl seat in the bed. That's all that's in there. Like fucking, like you're going to have to walk around this fucking whiteboard that's pressed up against the wall. But she won't let go of that. Like she will take that to the end. To one day she just walks in here, and then I put it in there about 40 times, and then she'll give it up. That's just how we do.
She also didn't want that roof that I ended up building. So what does she really know?
Were you there, Marco, the day she flipped her lid over that?
No, we were on our way to your place right before the whole thing finally kind of fizzled out a little bit.
Haven't you fought with Sean?
Do what?
Didn't you fight with Sean about something during the shed building?
No, not really. No, but he and I wanted to extend that roof out so that when you sat on the one end of the bar, you were under roof. And she was just fucking going nuts. She was like, you're going to ruin the whole fucking shed. You guys put in all this work. You go there and it's going to look like shit. And we're like, no, just trust us. It's going to look fucking awesome. And then she gets mad and storms off and leaves. She just drives away. She's so fucking mad. Leaves for like 2 or 3 hours. Comes back, and then we had all like the framework done by then. And she walked up and she was like,
that's right when we pulled it up. Yeah. You guys had the whole framework. We walked in, and then you were like, this is what I need your help with.
Oh, yeah. After all that, she just walked right up right before you got there and then saw it. And then she goes, I'm sorry. It looks awesome. And I'm like, yeah, this is our whole fucking life. Every time. Like, to the point, she probably did that 10 different times on stuff, and then we would wait till she went in the house, and me and Richie and Sean would look at each other. We're like, we're still going to do it, right? We're like, oh, fuck yeah, we're doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Bowers, you know how you're talking about how you understand women really well compared to one of your other friends that you happen to do comedy with in Appleton, who might be on here? I always get a kick from people how they impersonate, like, their girlfriend. Like, you did an impression and you like made it sound like a girl talking, but that Todd makes it sound like Marnie's a fucking drill sergeant in the Marine. Now I can do it both ways depending on how mad I am, but I always get a kick out of that when people do an impression of a girlfriend, because I see what you're saying now, Bowers.
That's how I hear her in my head. Arlie Ernie just screaming at me. What's your
now, Todd, does she ever win? Was she ever right and you're wrong?
Not that I recall, to be honest.
I don't believe that. I don't believe it.
I'm trying to think of a good example.
Because my buddy Tushlog used to argue with his wife Sam all the time, and finally I was like, you know why you argue all the time, right? He's like, why? I'm like, because half the time you're fucking stupid. Stop being stupid. I'm being serious. Like, if you want to stop arguing with your wife or girlfriend, win 100 times in a row. Don't argue about shit you can't Google. Don't argue about opinions. Just say shit like Tom Cruise is 5'4" and fucking shit you can prove. And after 100 times in a row, and this doesn't have to be women, it can be dudes too. Once you're right 100 times in a row, they quit fucking fighting with you and they just take your word for it. But you got to be right 100. You can't be wrong. If you're wrong once, it's 2 more years of arguing. So just quit being wrong.
Yeah, but I honestly can't remember. Like, I have a couch in here in this office. She bitched about bringing that couch in here, and now she fucking loves it.
How about a scar? How about it? Todd, here's what
if you stop bringing in girls for a casting call, you know.
No, Todd, what you need to do a scoreboard. Put a scoreboard up in your office of, and then write down the thing you're arguing about, and then whether Todd or Marnie was right. You know what I mean? Only argue about stuff you can fucking prove. And then once
take a picture of the whiteboard.
on your rollerball whiteboard, yes, and that's number one. And then fucking at some point you're like, look, I am 80-0. Why are you still yelling at me?
What? We're gonna make this a dating podcast now. Ours is gonna have all these great ideas because that should be number one on top of the fucking list. Is keep track of your wins.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta backdate it. Like go back to the roof idea.
Take pictures.
But there's probably times you've been wrong, and that's why she's still arguing with you. If you're just right every time, then it's hard for people to argue with you. That, like when I went to counseling with my second wife, one of her problems was she's like, I can never win arguments with you, and I was like, well, that's not true. Just when I'm wrong, I admit it right away. I don't argue for 10 minutes when I'm wrong. I'm half the time I'm wrong, and you call me out, I'm like, oh fuck, I was being a dick, my bad, and then I just fucking apologize. And so my counselor was like, okay, for the next little bit, every time you get, like, when you know you're wrong, just argue with her for 4 or 5 minutes and then give up so she feels like she won one. And I'm like, okay. So I did that. I mean, but the point is you just got to, you can't, if you're wrong 20% of the time, they're not going to listen to you any of the time. Yeah. So just pick your battles.
The only time I could think that she was right was when I wanted to get goats for the backyard.
But did you get goats? Because how do you know? Maybe you still were right.
Well,
no, we got a fucking tortoise.
Yeah. And after I didn't get the goats, a lot of goat owners hit me up and they were like, you don't want goats, brother. Like they're going to eat the siding off your house. They're going to just shred everything in your backyard.
That's some real shit. Goats will eat fucking anything.
Yeah.
Like ridiculous, like anything.
Yeah. Goats almost put Ronnie out of business.
Basically.
If it wasn't for that methane.
Ronnie's very anti-goat because they eat trash.
Yeah, they eat up everything I collect.
They'd have to hook up those methane tanks to the goat's ass, and you know.
Yeah. We don't want big goat taking over Ronnie's job. That'd be terrible.
Imagine just fucking Wairika, California, just a big old mess of goats walking up and down, just clearing out trash bins.
Here's the thing: there are farmers in this area who just buy goats to get rid of their fucking trash. Like that's a legit thing. They put them out in the field and they throw it in their backyard, and they open the gate to their backyard. The goats walk in, they eat everything. They kick the goats out.
I heard a story about a woman who bought a bunch of tigers to fucking feed her husband to. That's fucking cool.
Oh, God.
Carol fucking Bass.
That was the last pandemic. That doesn't count.
Now we starting over. This is phase 2.
Good God.
Yeah. Carol Baskin might even end up being a coworker of mine now, it turns out.
Yeah, she bought that zoo, right?
She might join that tour that I'm going on. So
Seriously?
No shit.
I don't think. I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't look me up on online because I did like 10 podcasts accusing her of murder.
Yeah.
But she is one of Todd's get out of jail free cards with him and Marnie's cards. He can fuck Carol Baskin, so that's nice. She's number 2 on his list.
She's a tiger in the sheet.
You get to get dressed up like a fucking tiger with the leash and the collar.
Yeah. Go away, simple.
Todd's a furry now.
Hey, Ronnie, didn't you have Steven Seagal questions for Todd?
No, does Todd have Steven Seagal questions?
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah, are you an authority on Steven Seagal?
I pick up his trash.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh my God! What's
not as a job? He just goes over there every so often and picks up his trash. He does the same thing for Kirk Cameron and fucking.
Yeah. No, Steven Seagal has a house in, I think it's Big Springs, California. It's like a few 100-acre ranch that he has like 3 houses on. There's like this one like Asian Oriental family that like takes care of it all. And then he has his own personal stuff that I have to go and get. Like I have to go through and I have like a gate code and shit.
Really? Do you ever go through his trash?
No.
Oh,
I've got to talk to him like 2 times, and
really,
he's
nice?
He's odd.
Really,
he's off. Like he seems like the type of guy like Have you ever felt like someone just you talk to someone and you're like you're a stalker, like that type of weird? It's
Right.
that. Like
Yeah.
you just feel uneasy, but no, he's
Twice a week,
odd.
twice a week, Ronnie finds Steven in the trash, which is fucking interesting. He's thrown himself away a couple times a week. I'm just garbage, man. Get me out of here. Turn me into methane for the trucks, man.
One of the weirdest things I ever seen was actually Steven Seagal learning how to ride a horse again out in the field. Like he had like a couple local ranchers basically get him up on top of a horse. Like they like boosted him up on it. And he was sitting there and he's holding the saddle horn with two hands and he's like rocking back and forth, and then the horse turns and he almost falls over, and I look over and I'm like, has he
like
never
a
ridden a horse
dude?
before? He's a pretty big dude.
He's like-
I'm fucking tiny.
He's like
Now, Ron-
6'7" or something.
Yeah.
Pretty fat.
Ronnie, if Todd came out, do trash men do ride-alongs like cops do? Can you do that? Go with you?
I could work that out.
I
just
find
wanna-
out a jumpsuit and you can't shower for 4
Hey,
weeks. But
we
yeah,
gotta,
they do.
we gotta get you a really good camera because Todd's gonna fight him on site.
Oh yeah. I'd be like, let's
So-
go, buddy.
So Todd, one of the time when you and Pat, when you guys were still with Barstool, and I used to call into the radio show all the time. One of the times I called in and I think I was on hold for a little while, and then I got to Steven Seagal's stop, and he was outside. So I hung up, I called back in, and I talked to Gonzo, and I told Gonzo, I'm like, Gonzo, get me on the fucking line now. And you guys are in the middle of this long tangent. And he's like, why? And I'm like, Todd's gonna shit his pants if I fucking hand the phone to Steven Seagal. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, no, seriously. And he's like, okay. And he put on the line, Trash Man apparently has Steven Seagal with him.
Oh,
And-
shit.
And then
And
Pat didn't pick it up.
No, and Pat didn't pick it up because
Damn it.
and I talked to Pat about it like later on. I was like, yo, like I had Steven Seagal booked for you guys and you didn't know it. And he looked at he was like, wait, that was real? I thought you were just calling just to get on the airwaves, because I used to just call in and say stupid shit all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I actually had him there.
He thought you were going to do a Steven Seagal impression or something?
Yeah, like one of those corny
We'd have been
you
like,
know-
man, he's really got this down.
Yeah, no shit.
Thank you.
No.
I'm just imagining Todd outside Steven Seagal's ass, like just banging fucking some shit against a fence, like, "This isn't how you recycle, motherfucker! Get out here! You're destroying the planets like a cow right now."
The movie The Warriors, he's clanking glass bottles.
Yeah.
Come out to play.
Oh.
And Todd has like a fucking fake ponytail he's clipped into the back of his head just for the fucking fight.
I'm the
Talked
cooler.
to Matt Mitrione about Steven Seagal when it was hot and heavy and trying to challenge him into a fight. And Mitrione, I said, and you know, for those that don't know, Mitrione used to fight in UFC. Now he fights in Bellator. He's a heavyweight contender. And he said, he goes, "Listen, my dude, I know you're mean, and I have no doubt that you, by the time he was done, he wished he hadn't have fought you. But the dude is 6'7", 400 pounds. He just has to hit you on accident, and he'll knock you the fuck out." And I was like, "That's a good point. That's a really good point."
He's swinging cinder blocks.
Hey, that's no bullshit. When I was in my mid-20s, this was right after
30
Tim
years
Sylvia.
ago.
Tim Sylvia had just lost to Fedor,
Mm-hmm.
and he was training here with Milicic, and I ran into him at a bar, and I didn't like him. Nobody here liked him, and I think I told this story on Pat's show also, but we had a little run-in, and I started talking shit to him, and he didn't like it, and he stood up, and I just remember, like, staring at him, and I was, like, drunk as fuck. But I just remember, like, looking at his knees as he was, like, all bow-legged and shit the way he usually fights. And I was like, "I've seen you fight, bro. You ain't never seen me fight." And I kept thinking about them fucking legs, man. And then we got separated and everything, but I just kept looking at those knees like, "I could take you." Yeah.
The drunk idea, like
Yeah.
This guy
Tim
fights for a
Sylvia is
living.
like a fucking giant man.
Yeah, he's like 6'8" or 6'9" and probably weighed 350 pounds.
Yeah, I tried to fight him twice, so that was the first one, but whatever.
I imagine Todd's at Seagal's house, and he's like, all right, let's go. Let's fucking fight. Come in here. And Todd goes into the kitchen, and the microwave explodes and kills him. And he's hiding somewhere. He put fucking steel wool and some Ajax in a fucking coffee cup and blew up the microwave. Kills Todd.
It's like the movie when he was the chef on the show.
Yeah. Under siege.
Oh,
You know.
Todd would just go to kick the door in, and then the gun would fly out of his boot.
one time.
Have you guys seen though that Mike Tyson is coming back and gonna do a fucking?
Oh, good God! I
demonstration with-
cannot
what
wait
is it?
for
Roy
that.
Jones. Roy
Roy
Jones.
Jones
Jr.
Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
It's
gonna
gonna be
pay
wild.
for it.
That's everybody's going to, bro. That's going to break. It's going
Yeah.
to double any previous pay-per-view record. It has to.
Yeah.
I mean,
It'll
one
be
more
cool.
time to see. And what's sad is Roy Jones Jr. is one of the greatest fighters of his era. You know, and he'll go down in history as that. But nobody gives a fuck. You know, basically, if fucking Mike Tyson was fighting me, as many people would watch it just to see Mike Tyson punch somebody again. You know.
Yeah.
So,
Especially after these videos, like Jesus, like
He's a
you
monster.
could say he's slower, sure, but son of a bitch, he looks like he's hitting just as hard.
oh yeah, like he's still. I
The
mean,
gray beard is just—it's almost more intimidating.
I know. I hope he keeps it for the fight. Jesus.
It
What really
doesn't
struck
matter
me-
when it'll knock you the fuck out either way. So
Yeah. He's
It's
gonna kill
crazy
Roy Jones Jr.
because Rogan did the interview with him a year ago, and he was like, "Have you been hitting a bag lately or anything?" And he was just like, "No, you know, I don't want to wake that beast up." And then Rogan was like, "What do you mean?" And then he was like, "Well," he kind of like explained it. And then when I saw that promo video, when you could see Mike
3
Tyson,
months ago.
no, the one recently where he's salivating at the thought of punching somebody in the fucking face, I was like, "Oh shit, that's the beast he was talking about."
Hey, he's still crazy.
Yeah.
Flashback to that time he was interviewed and he told all the media that he was going to eat their babies and chew on their testicles.
Stop on their testicles.
Yeah. Gonna stomp on their testicles. Jesus.
Oh,
He's
What
a
madman.
scary, scary man.
Yeah.
Khabib and Justin Gaethje got announced today. Super
Yeah.
excited about that one.
Yeah. that'll
Sorry,
be good.
Bowers. I don't know if you're a fight fan, but some shit
Not
happened.
really.
Yeah.
Nah.
Hmm.
Not a big fight guy. I don't know why. I think it was fucking Mayweather ruined fighting for me.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So
Yeah.
I
boring.
watched 2
It's tough.
pay-per-views with that motherfucker, and I'm like, this is what boxing is? Like soccer with gloves on. This is terrible.
I
Right.
feel almost the exact same way as you.
That, you know what? I'm stealing that shit for sure.
I tweeted the next day after Pacquiao Mayweather. I tweeted the next day. I tweeted millions of mothers just took their kids to sign up for boxing this morning because they finally found a sport where their baby wouldn't get hit. It's terrible.
You
bad.
guys switched from StreamYard, did you? You're on Zoom now.
Yeah.
yeah,
So we can have more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. StreamYard can only have 9 people in their podcast. That's 14, so they needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
We only have a half a house tonight.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think last time we had 8 or 9 of us on here.
There's 9 of
Yeah.
them total
Yeah.
screens.
That's too many. You know that, right?
It was
Yeah.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
hold on. How many you have in your show? You were telling us about your show you do 4 times a week.
We have 3 hosts and then a person who does our admin stuff, reads our tips and
Those are rookie
comments and
numbers,
stuff.
man. You got to pump them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Anomalies, we're on like 53 episodes, and we always have at least 6, sometimes 10. And you've heard of us tonight.
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 First time.
That's
I've
a
heard
lot.
of you. I listened to Marnie on your podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to the Todd episode though. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, Tal was before that, but
He
once
was
we got
probably
Marty
in
on-
half the stories.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I could hear him from the bedroom.
I just wanted to hear Marnie's perspective because I've heard Todd's perspective. I want her to Chrissy and I had a thing. It wasn't even a fight. It was just one of her friends was upset about something, and she was talking to her other friend about it, and I just listened to the conversation, not because I cared what she said, but I wanted to see if she was like, if her perception to what she was saying to me was the same as she would say to a real friend. It was the same, which I thought was cool, but like that's why I was listening, like, you know, but I am interested to hear other people's perspectives on what they think happened. Like, what do you think happened here? Like, I know you're mad right now. What do you think's happening? And have them go, well, and you're like, oh yeah, that's not happening at all. We're fine. That's not what this is about.
we like to take credit for putting Marnie out there, and then Todd wanting to do the
podcast with her.
The podcast. So
Yeah.
we take credit.
Oh, yeah, she's
figures
not awful on the mic. Oh my god.
Well, he's like, if I'm gonna argue with her 6 hours a week, I might as well make some money on it, I guess.
Right.
That's what it was all about. It's like, you know, we're going to argue every Sunday anyway. Might as well
We got to monetize this.
Yeah.
Pay for feud.
One of the funniest parts. One of the best parts about when we had Marnie on was the fact that we didn't know when Todd was laying on the couch next to her and when he wasn't, and we were like, wait, is Todd there? Like, and she's like, yeah, he's here, or no, he's not, and we're like, oh, because she was getting into some wild shit there for a minute.
She was being called into work, like at the start of that podcast. She had no idea if she actually was gonna go in, so she was like itching to start drinking, and she's like, son of a bitch, I have to go in right now. I can't do this shit. And then by the end of it, she did get called in. We were really watching willpower on display.
Yeah, because she likes to drink.
Yeah.
She likes to drink a lot. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're going to be able to party in Libertyville. Bowers, you're going? Or you're not going?
You're talking about Dayton or Libertyville?
Libertyville.
Liberty, Cincinnati, or?
No, it's Libertyville is like, it's near Chicago. I think it's within like a half hour of
when's
Chicago. August 22nd or something. It was initially booked as a Funtown show, but Austin Real said that he can't make it, so there might be a spot, Bowers.
Oh, shit.
Marco.
I might be in town. I don't know. I mean, I'm really the school schedule, because I do these freshman orientations for these high schools. It's all super up in the air right now. Like a couple of them have pushed to the 27th
You know what?
and 31st.
Fuck school.
So.
Go to Libertyville. Let's party. Because, I mean, we're going to get as many of these assholes to go as possible.
Yeah.
Right. I make 40% of all my money I make for the whole year in a 7-day time. So I got to make sure.
Well, I mean, there's also that.
Well, my point is, if I'm going to be back in town anyway, like I probably wouldn't fly all the way home. Maybe I would. I mean, it depends on what it pays, I guess. But I'm not going to fly all the way from California to Chicago for
I
one
keep
show.
forgetting you're not in Indy. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, if I was in Indy for sure, I'd go. But I might do it anyway. I mean, because I could be in Indy that weekend before, because I got stuff the 27th and 31st already, so I might just come in a week early. But let me know.
I mean, it's a door deal, so who knows? But everybody keeps wanting to come to Chicago. It's close to Chicago, so.
When Chicago's real cheap flights from L.A. too. There's like $99 flights on Spirit.
Yeah, Ronnie.
Listen, I have like 9 different people telling me I need to go to Chicago.
I hate
Sounds like
Chicago,
you should come to Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, I have family in Chicago. Like, you fucks want me to go to Chicago for a meetup? Yeah. So
I don't know
We
why
don't want
anyone
to go
lives
to
in
Chicago.
Yeah, I don't know
do they
why
do with
anybody lives there, because
What
if
do they do
you
with the
wanna live
garbage in Chicago, Ronnie? Is there
I
a
have
garbage
no-
system?
no, I
I
have
just
no
assumed
idea.
your whole family did garbage.
Actually,
You're not a garbage family like the.
No,
other people with other stuff?
it is a garbage family. Like literally everyone in my family has something to do with the garbage except for my cousin in Chicago.
So
Ah,
the
gotcha.
company that has the contract for City of Chicago and City of Indianapolis is the last name Bush, aka brother to the Bush Baked Beans Empire.
Oh, really?
And they own about 6,000 acres of irrigated sand potato ground up by me, and they're customers of mine. So,
Really?
yep, small world. I do know them. Yeah, they make their millions with the trash empire down in Chicago and Indy. They stay out of Gary though, because they're not that white trash, they say.
Yeah.
But then they come up and basically they just get rid of tax money farming up in northern Wisconsin, and they just party at the cabins all summer.
Yeah.
And the
If you
big
wanna
beans
make it-
part is the only thing they brag about. They've also had 2 presidents that make a pretty shitty beer. So,
True.
They're excited about that dog, though, Todd. That's that dog with the recipe
Yeah,
they're excited about. They don't give a fuck about the presidents
Right.
or the shitty beer.
All I drank in college though was Busch Light Draft.
Oh, that's all we did either. We did too.
Yeah.
But one time at one of the
Still
like
drink Busch
Aldi's or
Light.
whatever, they had Busch Light Draft cases. This is like 1994, probably 93. Busch Light Draft cases for $2.99 a case. Limit 8, and we just gathered guys in the fraternity. We bought 68 cases of beer. We thought that would last us the rest of the semester. Lasted us 18 days.
8 cases? That's more than a pallet.
68 cases.
68 cases.
Yeah.
8 cases at a time. So we would go buy 8 cases at a time. We got to 68 before we ran out of money. And
That's
then
more than a pallet. A pallet is 60 cases. Holy fuck.
Dude,
so-
when I
We
was
bought
It was only.
pallet
It was.
of-
But think about this: 70 cases of beer was $210.
That's cheap.
wow.
Good
You're
God.
aging yourself there because
Oh, I know.
I've never heard of
Well,
beer that cheap.
in Muncie, that beer is cheap though. In Muncie, Indiana, the Chug was a good time, and
Dude,
Oh.
when I went to, how old are you?
I'm 36.
Okay, so I'm 47.
Born in
So
84.
when I graduated Ball State in 96, but when we figured out one time when I went to Ball State, you could get drunk, like blackout drunk, 5 nights a week for $11.
Damn.
Yeah.
Because
What the
Mondays,
Pitchers.
Mondays was nickel drafts. Wednesday was penny drafts. Thursdays used to be quarter drafts, but then no one would go because it was too expensive. So they made it $1.25. You call it anything you wanted. Shots,
Oh,
Hyatt,
yeah.
Top Shop, $1.25. And then Fridays and Saturdays was dollar pitchers, right? So it was a full size pitcher for $1. And you would drink, but they would run out by like 11:30. They didn't have any more to sell. So if you went early, you would drink dollar pitchers all night, and on the way out at like midnight, you could sell your pitcher for $30 to somebody coming in because it was still cheaper to buy a $30 pitcher and then get dollar pitchers than it was to drink beer at regular price. So you'd make all your money back from the whole week Saturday night selling your pitcher at fucking 12:30. It was awesome.
That's incredible.
you know how
In the summer on Wednesdays on fucking penny draft night, if you got there before 9, they gave you $3. It was called reverse cover, and they would give you $3, and then the beers were a penny.
Holy shit.
That was before my time. Well, and the thing is too, like when I was there, like Ball State is known because it was the college was founded by the Ball brothers who created Ball jars. So like all the canning
Oh,
jars.
yeah.
So many
Oh,
times,
I've
like
drank
our
out a lot
drinks.
of those.
Yeah.
Exactly, we would drink out of Ball jars all night.
Out
It's
of
just-
balls in your mouth. Got it.
Did
Oh,
you guys ever do have wristband nights? That's everywhere in Wisconsin, like in college towns, anyways.
No.
Indiana, I don't know that's legal, but
It's illegal in a lot of states, but it's like
Yeah.
the thing in Wisconsin. In La Crosse, where I grew up, you paid $5. Well, it was kind of rotated, but you just got a cup and you just drank whatever you want all night. And
Jesus.
a couple cities had to ban it because it was a fucking problem. So then they went to 3-for-1s to replace wristband night because they had to get people in the door, and 2-for-1s just wasn't cutting it. So they went to 3-for-1s. Then the city is like, okay, wristbands is back on. Like, this is a problem. You people are sick.
Wisconsin's so fucking pro alcohol. Like when Bowers and I were there, you're the exact opposite of what it is here. Here, if your bar doesn't serve food, have a full menu, you can't have dine-in up to capacity. When we were there, you couldn't fucking dine in unless they sold alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the Wisconsin Supreme Court said you could not close the bars for COVID. That's interesting.
So
But
they closed for, I think,
and then-
21 days.
And they got sued, and they had to open back up because the Supreme Court said you constitutionally can't close them.
The Wisconsin Tavern League, they got, I don't want to misquote anybody or exaggerate, but they got signatures from like every important person in Wisconsin, all 9 of them. And the Supreme
It
Court
was Aaron
like,
Rodgers and yeah.
pretty much. And it was like within 48 hours, boom, everything's open. And we didn't do a soft opening. And now some counties did. But I live up north where there weren't any rules and the bars didn't close. But it was wide open. It was planting season, so we were crazy busy on the farm. I drove through this small little town at like 9 p.m. Everything was still closed. And then they must have heard that things were going to open the night before. So when I drove back through that town at midnight, the bars were packed. People like pre-gamed the opening of bars. It was
Jesus.
I've been saying for a couple of weeks that I think masks are just a daytime thing because everyone who's going to yell at you for not wearing a mask goes to bed at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
True.
and we don't need to debate it because we did that last time.
Yeah,
But the idea of masks, exactly what you said. Like, you don't get yelled at bars for about not wearing a mask because nobody's there that wants to wear one. So that's the escape for people.
I don't remember seeing a single mask in Wisconsin.
No, I mean, well, I said that on stage the second night. I go, look, guys, here's the deal. Like, here's my thing. I'm not worried about dying. If I was worried about dying, I wouldn't drink 5 nights a week and I'd eat vegetables. I don't give a fuck. I've never listened to doctors ever. So that being said, I think this is a real thing. If somebody has a mask on, I'll put a mask on, not to be a dick. But I said to the crowd, I'm like, but if you guys don't give a fuck, I don't give a fuck either. You know what I mean?
Right,
You know, I mean, like even the MC guy was going home to his 90-year-old mother. I'm like, well, that's on him, right? Like, you don't kill that guy's mom. It's like, well, he went home to his mom, not me. I didn't go see my mom, goddammit. I was home for fucking 3 weeks, didn't see her once because she's 72. And my brother told me if I kill her, he's taking my inheritance, and I don't want that to happen. So fucking.
They took our temps to get in the comedy club.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
Brittany and I went and got supper. I was watching the fucking bartender. He went over and he was like hitting on this chick like when he wasn't taking care of us. And like he gave her a hug. I was like, did that motherfucker just get away with a hug? Where I had to get in here? Like, how does this work?
Yeah.
Well, you're just lucky they used the rectal thermometers on us when we got there, but that was
at our request. That was in my rider.
Yeah.
I get that.
That was in your rider.
You're
It's
right.
more accurate.
I'm only coming if you test my temperature rectally. Yeah.
Well, I'm only coming, sure. All right.
I could come and go.
Black,
Yep.
he tells that joke about Wisconsin. He's like, them fucking people are sick. He's like, how do you, they drink like it's New Year's Eve in any other city just on a Tuesday. And he's like, so how do you differentiate New Year's Eve? And the people from Wisconsin are like, oh, that's when we drink with hats on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just who we are. I can't.
That fucking Christmas bar that we went to before.
That was weird.
That was a weird fucking bar.
It was, but I kind of liked it because it's different. I've never been in a bar like that before.
Oh, I
so
forgot
it
that
made
you.
the night cool.
I forgot we went back to it so you could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
didn't have to
weird
look hard
fucking bar.
because there was like more than just Christmas though. It was like Halloween, St. Patty's Day, half naked mannequins hanging from the ceiling. Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird one.
We
Yeah, I
went
think
there
they just
one
got all
night
fucked
too.
up. Like, we're doing this once. We're doing all the fucking holidays once. We're getting drunk. We're putting up all the decorations. We're never changing anything. So fucking let's go.
Yeah, and we did shrooms before going in there, and it was pretty awesome.
I bet that was fucking wild. You walked in, you're like, wait, what fucking time of the year is it?
Yeah. After a while, like all the lights were extra bright. It was fucking awesome.
Just to specify, because I'm pretty sure my girlfriend's dad listens to this, I didn't do shrooms. I just drank.
Yeah.
But just wanted to get that out there.
No, you were strictly booze and cocaine. That was
Hey,
Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
hold on. You had shrooms that night, you fucking asshole?
That was Saturday. That was a
No.
Saturday.
That was Saturday.
I say, Marco, you didn't need shrooms that night.
No, I was
You
pretty
had
fucked
Marco.
Fireball and whatever was happening on the way up.
Todd got some Jaeger. There was a lot of things going on that night.
Marco, when you FaceTime me, I could understand everyone else
I
that was on
FaceTimed you?
Yeah, you FaceTime me, and I couldn't understand a word you said. Todd spoke perfectly fine. Tanner spoke perfectly fine. You're like, just like, I can't hear you. I'm like, I know you can't hear me. You're like, here's Todd.
So basically what happens is when I hang out with Todd, I have a good time. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
No.
Libertyville ain't going to be no better. I promise you that.
Where the hell is Libertyville?
All I know is it's way closer to Chicago than it is Indianapolis.
That means
it's in
Tanner,
Illinois
come
for one, so
Does that mean it's on the north side? Because
I couldn't tell you. Supposedly it's like 25 minutes from Chicago.
oh fuck, that
Is
could
it
be.
in Illinois?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely in
Google it.
Illinois.
Here, I'll put it
I
on my
mean-
little machine I carry in my pocket.
Oh,
That's the
shit.
answer to every
If I had to
question.
guess, it's
Dude,
probably a
that's
little
not-
west of Chicago.
No, it's like kind of straight north. Well, a little west, but straight north, pretty much. It ain't
you're-
far from the Wisconsin border.
So
at
what
all.
you're saying is you can make it.
When is that show?
the 22nd, I think.
Yeah.
Of August.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's way north of Chicago, though, dude.
I'm in a wedding that weekend.
Well, I mean, just tell him you died.
Yeah.
I don't think that one's gonna work. Especially because anytime we get together, it gets blasted all over the internet. Yeah, Libertyville is not, I don't think it's 25 minutes from Chicago. It's like plenty north.
It's farther than that?
Yeah, and book a hotel room that's not half an hour away, you jackass.
Yeah.
Where did you stay when you were in Appleton? Like Kimberly or something?
Yeah, that's just where the club puts you, though.
What the
Nice
fuck?
hotel.
Yeah, it was a really nice hotel.
Yeah, but it was like 25 minutes away.
Yeah,
Kimberly's a shithole.
It would have been nice to walk over.
My favorite thing about people, the smaller a town you live in, the fucking longer you think a short drive is. Like, it was fucking not a problem at all. It was 8 minutes. I live in Los Angeles, dude. Fucking, it takes me 15 minutes to get to fucking Target, and it's 3 blocks away. Like, the fucking, like, it just makes me laugh. People live in tiny towns. I ain't driving 8 fucking minutes. What, I gonna fucking waste all my gas? It's like, come on, dude. It's fucking 3 miles.
You
What's
have
wrong with you?
no idea how true this is. So my wife grew up in Chico, where it's a little bit more busy than where I'm from. Just a little bit. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking go to Walmart. She's like, it takes 3 minutes to fucking drive there. Like, it's across town. Town is 1.5 miles long. And I'm like,
I was speaking at a freshman orientation once in Tennessee, little tiny town in Tennessee, and this lady shows up with her freshman high school kid, and she starts to go in the thing. I'm like, oh, this is just for the students, and she's like, oh, well, what am I supposed to do then? And I'm like, well, you just go home and come back. She's like, I live 3 miles from here. I ain't coming back. And I'm like, well, I guess you could sit in the parking lot for 5 hours. She was like, all right. She sat in the parking lot for 5 fucking hours rather than drive 3 miles home. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Jesus. Like, she didn't ride a horse there. She had a car. I'm like, what are you doing?
I feel like there's a happy, like, mediums, like suburbia and kind of big city. But, like, in small town southern Indiana, I grew up in Hope, Indiana, south of Shelbyville. Mm-hmm. And like, it was 25 minutes anywhere, like the nearest grocery store, the nearest gas station. Well, we had a gas station, but
by the way, the balls on them to call that place Hope is fucking unbelievable.
Oh, it's disgusting. Only hope is to get out. That's your only hope. Hopefully I can get out of this place. But anyways, my dad was a pastor. Anyways, so, but in suburbia, I live in Fishers, fucking Indiana, which is Yuppieville. And if I have to travel more than 7 minutes anywhere, I'm just not going. So it's kind of one of those things where if you're in a big city, you're used to driving long distance. If you're in a small city, you're used to driving a long distance. Well, big city, it's a long time to get somewhere. Small town, it's a long distance to get there. Suburbia, if I have to go very far, I'm just not going.
Well, we're all kind of like that's why every town has 47 McDonald's, because you won't drive longer than a mile to get to a fucking McDonald's. No one's going to drive 4 miles from McDonald's, so you got to put them by people. You know what I mean? But
I won't drive that far for McDonald's, but I will go like crazy distances for a Culver's. I will schedule my travel around Culver's. If it adds an hour to the trip, I will.
I'm a big fan of Culver's.
It's so
I like Culver's, but Whataburger's my restaurant, and I book gigs sometimes in Texas to lose money just so I can go to Whataburger.
Oh,
like, I don't care.
Okay, you can settle this for me because I love Whataburger.
Okay.
Is In-N-Out or Whataburger? Which one?
Whataburger by 1,000. In-N-Out is hamburgers for people who don't eat hamburgers. In-N-Out is for people that's their cheat day. And of course it tastes awesome. You've been eating kale and no carbs for 7 years, dick. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying that In-N-Out is what California skinny people think is bad for you. And it's not like Whataburger, which is just the shit.
Whataburger's fries were terrible though.
I love their fries. They're the best because they're old school. They're the old school, straight up and down, don't flop around, crispy fries without that fucking coating on them. They haven't changed ever. But
I want my fries crinkle cut.
I like crinkle cut too. Five Guys is
good. Yeah, those are decent.
That's my shit.
Five Guys to me is the best burger restaurant there is.
For burger itself, that fucking Five Guys burger is legit.
Yeah. Right. Now, what I'll say, though, is Five Guys is Chipotle, where Whataburger is Taco Bell. So it's it's apples and oranges a bit. Yeah. Five Guys isn't a fast food restaurant.
Fast food,
It's like Chipotle.
Right.
So, but I'll give you that. I really like.
No, my wife.
I don't think I've had Whataburger.
Addicted. My wife is addicted to In-N-Out, so that's why I asked.
Really?
Gotcha. I'm not saying it's not bad. I mean, it's not good. It's good. It's just not. I mean, but also too, I live next to an In-N-Out. I mean, my theory is, I've always said that for pizza to be good, it has to take you half hour to get it. Like you have to drive a half hour to get it, because anything you can deliver to your house, eventually you get sick of. So like I live next to an In-N-Out Burger, whatever, where I have to literally fly to Texas. I mean, we came home from Cabo. We had a fucking 45-minute layover in Houston, and we Ubered to Whataburger on our layover and rechecked our bags and went through security again just to eat Whataburger.
That's dedication right there.
And that's how badass Chrissy is. Chrissy was like, on the end of this crazy vacation to Mexico, she's like, yeah, I guess we won't miss our flight. Let's go to fucking Whataburger. Let's give it a shot.
Respect.
Yo, people down there are serious about Whataburger. Like, real serious.
Yeah.
I went down to Texas when I was like 17. I drove from Wairika to Dallas in like a week. Like, I kept stopping random places just in the summer. And when I got there and I tried Whataburger for the first time, I was like, oh, now I know what fucking everybody's talking about, because it was just 10 times better than anything I had that was fast food.
Yeah, it's fucking good.
Yeah, I used to live in Texas, and I lived on Whataburger and Taco Bueno. That was their Taco Bell, but it was Taco Bueno. And
that was awesome.
200 times better than Taco Bell. It was so good, dude. I don't know
the
if
hard shell taco from Taco Bueno. Like the hard shell taco is so crisp. Holy shit, that was so good.
It's like a whole nother level. Like if we had them here, oh my God, Taco Bell would go under.
What would you guys get at Whataburger? Like if you had to tell someone who had never been to one?
I get a double cheeseburger, ketchup, mayo only, with a large fry and a large Coke Zero. That's what I get.
Yeah, I'm a double cheeseburger guy there.
Doesn't have that menu down.
So when we walked in, we went to San Antonio, was that February? It was like the weekend before COVID became serious in this country. We'd never been before, and I asked the lady,
did you go to the one on First, or did you go one on 23rd over by the high school?
The one right by the big convention center.
Yeah, that one's not too bad. That one's okay, but it's not the best. You need to go down by the Riverwalks, where the best Whataburger is in San Antonio.
Yeah,
but anyway, carry on with your story.
This was right on the Riverwalk.
I'm fucking with you. I have no idea where to fucking...
So I asked this lady, I'm like, hey, we've never been here before.
You invited him on, motherfucker. Deal with it.
It's funny.
It's your idea.
It's good.
Anyway, I asked this lady, and I was like, all right, we've never been here before. What would you recommend? And she's like, oh, shoot, honey, everyone gets the patty melt their first time. I'm like, huh, I've never heard that before, but maybe it's just a San Antonio secret. That was the most average fucking patty melt I ever had. But the dude next to me, he was having a double cheeseburger for the first time, and he's like, holy fuck, this is like sex on a bun. I got my fat ass up, I stopped eating the patty melt, and I went and got the double cheeseburger.
That's what I like to hear. I was going to say, throw that burger away, brother. It's like McDonald's chicken nuggets. Chicken nuggets from McDonald's out of the cooker are the best food on the planet. 90 seconds later, they are the worst. Like, you have to get them right when they come out. So when I go to McDonald's, I order a 20-piece nugget. I have them throw that away, and then I fucking have them cook me a brand new 20-piece nugget, and I eat the second one. Because they always have 20 nuggets in the drawer. They never have 40.
Oh, 40 of them now.
That's such a gangster move.
That is, wow.
That's such a
Thing with the
gangster move.
Always order, when you go to McDonald's, always order no salt. And then when you get to the window, ask for a ton of salt packets, because they always cook the fries super fresh, because they always add salt when they throw it in that warmer.
Oh, great idea.
Ask for no salt, but when you get to the window, ask for about 10 salt packets, dump it on there, and you got some fresh fucking McDonald's fries.
Is this a new segment, like fast food hacks? Is this what we're doing here?
I guess. Fuck.
We're fucking manipulating McDonald's?
Well, they have the secret menu. Everybody knows about the secret menu, right?
Fuck
Is
no,
that
what
Starbucks?
Are you talking about?
Oh, no. All restaurants have a secret menu where you can ask for something that's not on their actual menu, but they can still make it. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Like
look
the
it up.
McRib? Can you get the McRib year-round?
Not like that. It's like...
Okay.
Are you
it's
talking about like coffee shops and secret menus?
No,
'Cause
like
that's
McDonald's
like a known
has
thing.
secret
Is this like,
menu.
are you talking about Pizzagate? Like you order pepperoni pizza and you get a kid? What are you talking about?
Okay, so last episode.
What, that secret menu? You know, the Hillary Clinton secret menu? That's what I'm looking for. This is a pizza place in New York, right? Am I in the right spot? Where do I get the children? That's what you're gonna say.
You get the cabinets from Wayfair.
Yeah, or it's Wayfair. You order the cabinet that's $10,000 that's named Christina.
Marco's exactly right, though, because
she's from Nicaragua.
no one knows it, but McDonald's makes the best beef Wellington in the country. Just nobody knows to ask for it.
What the fuck is beef Wellington?
It's like Eggs Benedict.
It's Gordon Ramsay's specialty.
So next time you go to McDonald's, everybody who's listening, go to McDonald's, ask for the beef Wellington. They'll know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Every McDonald's worker knows.
The fucking Hardee's or Carl's Jr. makes like a certain breakfast burrito that's on the secret menu. That kind of shit. Not like kids.
Well, spill, motherfucker. I want to try this stuff.
Well, I don't know. Just like look it up. You could like type in the Google the machine thing.
Hold the fuck. How can you come here? We talk about Carl's Jr. breakfast burritos all the fucking time.
Did you see how he fucking
bringing it up?
Yeah,
I
Ronnie gets accosted in one.
We assign homework on this podcast when a new fast food chain has a new menu item, or like when Wendy's started serving breakfast. We literally pitch the next episode as the thing we talk about as we would review Wendy's breakfast.
Oh, shit,
and Marco knows about a secret menu for 53 fucking episodes and hasn't said a word. Why are you even a part of the group?
This makes me want to start a fake website that gives out these bullshit like secret menu
Oh my
items.
God, that'd be so funny, Todd.
All you got to do is
You gotta
order
look it
this, and
God.
then you give the password. The password is, something racist.
It's Donkey Kong. Everybody
Rump
knows
shaker.
the password's Donkey
Rump
Kong.
shaker. I want the triple rump shaker. And just look at him. No, rump shaker. You know what I'm talking about. Just give me the rump shaker. Don't be a dick. Give me the rump
I
shaker.
got kicked out of McDonald's.
Todd.
The password, the code word is OJ's wife asked for it. Yeah. So you just walk up there to the window.
Oh,
and you just-
Nicole.
the first thing you say,
Nicole.
Trying
OJ's
to put your
wife
hand in
asked
the
for
glove,
it.
but it doesn't fit yet.
It's a rare steak, but they cut it up for you. Okay.
But the gloves don't fit. They all have to wear the super
You drive away in a white Bronco.
No, it's like a car hop, but all the cars are white Broncos, and you sit in one and eat in there.
Oh, jeez. Be like the best prank of all time. You just have all these people showing up at McDonald's that day. OJ's
in college-
for it.
I feel like
in
you have
col-
a popular enough Twitter account where if you just were to scrap Todd Mccomas, Todd Comedy, and turn it into a parody account of this, I feel like you could go crazy viral.
Todd, you already went crazy viral with the Holmes and Watson shit. If you just took that type of writing and put it into secret menu items, you'd be great.
I should.
There you go.
Just start putting them out.
In college, one time
every week.
I went to Arby's and I got like, I don't know, 5 for 5 roast beefs or whatever. But like I took them out of the rack. I don't know how it happened. I was eating one. I had a roast beef sandwich. I was in the fraternity house, and one of the pledges was like, "Where'd you get that roast beef?" And I'm like, "Oh, Flying Tomato," which is a pizza place. Flying Tomato down this. It was like a block from the fraternity house. I'm like, "Oh, they got a roast beef sale on Tuesdays. It's 5 for $1." And they're like, "What? 5 for $1?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Oh my God!" So all the pledges ran to the fucking Flying Tomato, and we're like, "Hey, we want the roast beefs." And they're like, "What are you talking about? Oh, they're 5 for $1. There's a special." And they're like, "No, there's not. What the fuck is?" So they just look like idiots. They can be like, "You're a dick." But then, like every year I was in the fraternity, we did that to the pledges. The rest of the time, we'd send them to the $5 roast,
awesome.
five for $5 roast beef sale at the pizza place, and make them look stupid. It was very funny.
We had when I worked at this sign and decal, this vinyl graphic place. We decaled a lot of vehicles, and there was an ice cream guy that had an ice cream truck that would stop by in the summer because he would just clean up in our office. It was just hot as balls in there, so we'd buy all kinds of ice cream. And one day, I made a sticker for the side of his truck. It was a Target, and when he was selling stuff, I went around to the other side and stuck it, squeegeed it on the side of his ice cream truck, and so it was a Target, and it said, "Smack the Target here for a free drumstick." So every time he would stop at a stoplight or a stop sign, kids would run up and just start banging on the truck. Bam, 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 bam. And he's like, "Get off my truck." It took him like half a day to find it, and then he came back all pissed off.
That's fucking evil.
Yeah.
This is how fucking redneck we are in Iowa. there was two things that we did when I worked at this truck wash, semi truck wash.
Like you watch semi trucks, or you kind of only watch the trucks.
Well, Marco did both.
I mean, really, we sold you drugs and we wiped off the fucking windshield of your truck, but it was a semi truck wash. Regardless, here's what happened.
So there was tractor trailers, and we kind of watched them.
There's the bonus in the bathroom for the happy hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh shit. I'm a little high. Where was I?
Trucks.
Do you remember
You're semi washing trucks, or you got a semi while you're watching trucks. I don't remember exactly where the story was going. I think you're about to fuck a truck. All right, so you've got a semi. You're semi hard, and you're washing a truck. Then what happened?
The gas cap got open.
You literally locked them up.
He fucked the gas tank.
Marco.
Oh shit.
It's called a Marco Toff cocktail.
Let's just move on, Marco.
Yeah.
You can't top this.
I can't.
Marco, this is why you don't eat the banana bread before the episode.
Seriously. Yeah, Todd. He sits down and he's like, "Oh, I'm an edibles guy." He has like a baggie full of aluminum wrapped banana bread edibles.
Banana bread edibles? Jesus.
He just left to go scarf the whole thing down, and now he can't even tell his own story.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'll remember the story at some point in time here.
Yeah. There's
No,
no
you
way to
won't.
control your portions on banana bread. Like, you've consumed way too many milligrams.
Yeah. That's how you know you're stoners, when you fucking refer to all foods as milligrams. 38 milligrams of banana bread.
I was gonna say, that's some Sean Latham shit right there. Like, how many milligrams is that banana bread?
Hold on. I remember the story. Hold on.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God. I was not going to be able to sleep tonight without knowing what happened to this truck.
So we say Sean Latham, and you remember?
So we used to haze the new guys when we were at this truck wash. So I was the supervisor, even though I didn't get high then. I get high now. So we would send the new guys to the truck wash or to the gas station to buy blinker fluid for all the trucks. And
So you weren't gonna be able to top that.
No. But the better thing that we did was that so when you're at a truck wash, you have the pit where all the water and all the gross shit goes underneath the truck. So we would tell the new guys that we had a tortoise that was in the little creek part down there, and it was named Click Click. So they would always go over, and they would stand directly over this grate, and then all of a sudden you would just hear click, click, and then 20 gallons of water would just come dumping down on top of them.
Oh, you're a fucking idiot.
Bauer sent the pledges to a pizza shop for roast beef. You soaked these fucking guys at their already shitty job.
Oh, so good.
Hilarious.
And the turtle's name was Click Click.
That's a future comedian right there, folks.
Yes. When I worked at McDonald's, we used to send people across the street to Burger King to get sesame seeds for the buns, which was fun. We'd have trainees and be like, "Hey, we're out of sesame seeds. Can you go to Burger King and ask if they have any?" And then, but then also we had the coffee pot that had the direct line into for the hot water. That's just part of the water hookup.
Yep.
But at the end of the night, we'd have a trainee empty it, which it never empties, but like I could open it and pour a bucket of hot water into the sink. They would just do it for fucking like 30 minutes. Like, this thing's not getting empty. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, fuck, that's funny.
Like you're trying to empty the hose, dickhead.
Have any of you guys ever siphoned gas before?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Many times.
God.
Have you seen Ronnie's haircut? Of course he has.
With a hose in your mouth, you mean? Or
Yeah.
with an actual, okay.
Oh yeah, and then every time you get a fucking mouthful of gas, it's like the worst thing
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Todd, I fucking grew up in a trailer park. I know.
Well, what's worse than that is you're trying to clean out your fish tank, and you try to siphon the fish tank out, and you get a mouthful of fish water.
That's worse.
Oh, I thought you were
Ronnie-
going to say
That's
goldfish.
fucked up.
And Ronnie told that story differently. He was like, yeah, and sometimes you get a mouthful of gas. He's like all excited about it.
Well, in Ronnie's case too, is worse because he was doing it at the pump, and you were like, "No, you can just put the nozzle in. You don't have to baby
He's
bird your
sucking
truck."
it out of the pump and putting it into a fucking tube into his. Well, you think you're better than me? I ain't using your highfalutin pumps in the car system. I know how to get gas in a car, motherfucker.
The best gas siphoner in all of Wairika.
No, in the
Also-
Wairika, Eureka surrounding counties.
Right.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
Well, you just had to bring Eureka into this, Flags.
Yeah.
That was over the line.
Oh god.
Oh,
Yeah,
are they
Marco,
close?
you were on here for this, but Bowers has been to Wairika and Eureka.
That's what I was gonna say. Are they close or are they not close?
No.
They're not close at all.
Oh, shit. Wait, why are you yelling at me like that's my fault? Your fucking dumbass state named two fucking cities the same thing.
They're not the same. Wairika, Eureka. Two different fucking sounds, Marco.
Same thing.
Same shit. That's like in Oregon, there's a Wallawa and a Wallawa, Oregon.
There's two Bends
Really?
in Oregon.
Yeah. Like that name sucks to begin with. And then they pronunciated it differently and
double
named the
down.
other town that.
There's a Bend and a North Bend in Oregon, and the North Bend is south of Bend.
Really,
That makes sense. That makes sense.
that's the best.
Like, shit doesn't make sense, guys. It's just
Yeah.
how it is.
How long have you guys been at this for real? Like a long
like-
time?
Wild.
Couple hours.
yeah,
I didn't know if this
good for
ever
you.
ends or we just keep doing this till.
Bowers,
one
I
dies.
literally
How's
asked
this
you if
work?
you
Hey,
had a
hey,
bedtime.
we told you.
Care, dude, I
We
don't
told you
care.
it was a fucking marathon, motherfucker.
Dude, I'm down. I'm just waiting to smoke weed. I'll probably start doing that now.
I think the longest we've ever done
You
was
seen
like
how many
almost 4
milligrams
hours.
I consume? Just start smoking it.
Well, the first time you were on, Todd, shit. I mean, we recorded for like over 2 hours, but you stuck around for like an hour and talked with a few of us.
Yeah. Everybody bowed out till finally it was just me and Tyler, I think.
Yeah.
You were astonished at how I went to go pick up my wife at the airport, and you're all like, "That airport's like not that far."
Yeah. Yeah, he was able to get back.
And then your next podcast, you were like, these guys had no fucking clue what was going on. Because it was right at the start of COVID, and you said, I had nothing to do, so I just kept going.
Yeah. I was like, you guys were all like, I got to check out, man. It's fucking 4 a.m. I'm like, you pussies, let's go.
Oh yeah, that one. You tried to go like 3 fucking hours that night.
He
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I had to bounce out too.
That was the first streaming thing I think I've done, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
that was on StreamYard. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was,
you were
because that's
trying to
how I
figure
learned
out-
about StreamYard.
Yeah, you were trying to figure out how you were going to do guests and stuff like that, and you were just starting up one of your you have like 18 podcasts that you do now, and
Right.
The smoke was bellowing out of his ears because he was so mind blown at our technology.
That's right.
You guys,
Powers, you're a good fit on Dockheads,
for
Dockheads.
sure,
Yeah.
for
Thanks.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we
you
can
guys
go
originally
forever.
had one together, right? Like,
Yeah, we did the
started
TNT Dynamite Party
long time.
Hour long time ago. Had like 30 listeners, and
Oh, so you were us.
oh, you doubled
Dude.
us. Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
here's the thing: it was me and Bowers and 2 other guys, and we ran that one for over 2 years, I think, the original one. And who knows how many listeners we had? Not very many, but we were having we had Jeff Garland, we had Gary,
Nikki
Goldman.
Glazer, Gary Goldman. I mean, we had
Wow.
literally the biggest names in comedy on this podcast that nobody listened to. It was so
It
crazy.
was such a waste, and it's the
that's
funniest
you
podcast
guys
I've ever
for
done.
us.
Is it still out there?
It's still there somewhere. Yeah, DynamitePartyHour.com. There's still like 60 some episodes up. But they
Yeah,
don't
there was
start
the
at very
TNT
beginning.
Dynamite Party Hour, and then there was the Dynamite Party Hour. And
Oh,
the
it's like
TNT
a
Dynamite Party Hour we
plane,
ran.
Starship. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we had that one, and then I was on the first 4 McAfee podcasts with me, Sean, and Todd.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then football season, and Pat didn't want to do one when they lost, and that's the year they lost a bunch, so we just didn't do any for like 8 weeks, and then by that,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's
yeah, so
when
we've done a lot of stuff.
that's when I know now. I mean, Pat didn't really pub that one or whatever, but it's that's when anybody asks how tough is podcasting. That podcast, the numbers weren't crazy on it, and it was Pat, So it's Still really Barstool.
I think we all kind of jumped on right around the same. My bad. Right around the same time when you guys had done Bob and Tom, and you guys were in the basement or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's when we. Oh, I think that's when we all jumped on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, when we first started listening to Pat and all you guys.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
It was my dad who told me about Pat and all you guys, because he's listened to Bob and Tom religiously like his whole life, and he's like, you fucking love these guys, like this is exactly who you should be listening to. And I was like, Dad, Bob and Tom, they're old, and I gave it a couple listens, and I was like, well, Bob and Tom, they're all right, but those guys were awesome. And Vibbs was doing a podcast, I think, back then. So I started listening to that, and he was really funny, but the podcast was terrible.
Yeah.
So that's how I found all of you guys.
Yeah. I remember my first time, like, with the Barstool Pat relationship. I just started an insurance Bowers, and they flew.
You never forget when you start insurance.
Well, the thing is, they flew me out.
I remember
because
I sold my mom. I sold my mom insurance on Tuesday. I sold my dad insurance on Wednesday,
Right.
and then I got fired on Monday because I was out of people. But it was that 5 days was pretty good.
I was part of a larger agency, and they actually flew me out to Vegas for like a 5-day weekend.
To sell your mom and dad.
I downloaded the very first Pat Barstool podcast with you, Todd. It was like a 4-hour podcast. It lasted me the whole way, all the way to Vegas and back. And you guys, you said on there a couple episodes later, it was just, you had no clue what you were doing. There wasn't really advertisers. You guys were just doing what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I really dug in. But I remember you guys from Bob and Tom from high school, growing up in Indiana. Bob and Tom were legends and stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of cool to be able to interact with some people from that I've listened to for quite literally, years and years, almost decades.
I wish I could find that run of the TNT Dynamite Party Hour. I don't know if that's still out there or not, but
It'd be cool for you to like find them and like do like a re-release episode, like listen back together.
Cool.
like I didn't know about cataloging and saving the episodes, so I don't even know. I don't know if I can find them, but it was literally
Is
such.
Bowers
a great
touching
podcast.
himself right now?
No, I had to stand up because my chair was hurting my ass, so I had to tie my shorts so they don't fall down. And you
I know
see
you've
my
been
dick.
podcasting a long time.
Todd hasn't been wearing shorts the entire time he came on.
That's
so.
right. I'm totally just free balling back here. But we would have the headliner every week, right? Because we did it at the club. So the headliner would always do the show, and we just like would try to get them talking about other shit other than comedy, like what we just find something interesting about their background and go. And these guys had like crazy stories. I think they liked it because it was new. Podcasting was new enough that they, when they did do it, it was always like, when did you start in comedy and da-da-da. And
Is that you guys?
Yep.
yeah, that's it.
That's what pops up. You search TNT Dynamite Party Hour, and you see that logo, and then
What's the first episode they have?
Michael Malone, comedian. It's on his website, and he says, I finally had a chance to go on my favorite podcast.
Nice.
TNT Dynamite Party Hour.
Bowers, wasn't that the guy that you said that wasn't his real name because he was an asshole?
No, that's Mark
No,
Plummer.
Oh.
Different Mike.
Yeah, different.
Mark
Mike's the
Plummer's
one.
what we call the other
The guy he was referring to that we don't like anymore is the guy who punched the guy in the face in Dallas.
I kind of figured that was him.
That was him.
So, Todd, I have to ask you this. I just thought of it. You were the best ad reader. Like, you could go from like any random conversation into ad reads.
Yeah.
And then I remember you kind of explained that you had to stop that because it would literally distract you from the show and shit.
Yeah.
There are people still at Barstool. I don't know if you've heard it, but like they still
Stephen
talk
Che.
about your ability to do that. Stephen Che, namely, Big Cat threw you out one time, or shouted you out one time.
Yeah.
Are you ever gonna do that again, like on 1041 or something?
Hold on, you
And
kind
flex
of
with the
did.
people?
I've been doing it a little bit into the
Yeah.
others. Not as good as like those were because I would do these elaborate setups for it,
Dude,
Yes.
Your one about Tim Tebow was so fucking classic. Oh my God. And Tim Tebow helps kids with cancer. Like, no, you know, I had a nephew who had cancer, and his only wish was to go see Hamilton, and we didn't have SeatGeek, so I couldn't do it. And they're like, oh, fuck you, man. Oh, my God. Did you just kill your baby cousin for a SeatGeek ad? Oh, it was so fucking brilliant.
Wasn't it Diggs who was just bashing Tim Tebow at that point? And you just dug it like slowly, and all of a sudden like you could I'm listening and I could just feel Diggs just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you dropped the SeatGeek thing, you just said, fuck you.
It was one of the greatest moments in fucking.
It was so wild because I thought I was getting fired initially because the Dollar Shave Club ad we had. You know, when we first got the ads, Pat was like, I'm not reading ads. I'm not getting people to hear me trying to sell stuff. So he's like, you're going to do it. And I was like, okay. So I was looking at it and I was like, these are boring as fuck, man.
That was the best. That was the first time I remember you doing it was Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah. He was like, just do whatever you want. And I was like, well, I'm thinking about just making them entertaining. He's like, yep, make them funny, do whatever you want. So we did the one at Dollar Shave Club where I think Diggs was talking about it was right after Tom Crean got fired as the head coach at IU.
Yeah, IU.
And he said, yeah, he was on ESPN. They showed him in the crowd at his daughter's game, and he looked all sad as fuck or whatever. He looked like he was about ready to kill himself. And I was like, well, I guess. He's going to kill himself by slitting his wrists. So he needs to get the cleanest cutting razor on the market. We went into it. And then the next day, the head of sales for Barstool Sports, it was Lewis at the time, Lewis Roberts, calls me. And he goes, what in the fuck did you do? I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Dollar Shave Club just called me and they're freaking the fuck out. Like, we're going to lose this account. They're one of our biggest accounts. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't know, Pat wanted me to make him funny. And then, so I called Pat afterward and I'm like, dude, I think they're going to want to fire me after this. If you have to, I understand. I was like, I'll take the heat for it. And he goes, don't worry about it. Just keep doing what you're doing and I'll talk to him. So they kind of schmoozed it over. And then like 2 weeks later, Lewis calls me and he goes, hey man, your guys' engagement's through the fucking roof on these ads. And he goes, do you care if our other podcasts start using that style? And I was like, no, I don't care. So I went from I'm going to be fired to the way all Barstool Sports podcasts
revolutionize the business.
And it's not just Barstool, because Erica Nardini, the CEO, now talks about how ads are run, and they're talking about personalizing it to yourself and everything. Like you kind of took it from like just reading a script to the complete opposite end, and now it's like it's kind of somewhere in the middle, and that's how everybody does it now, and that's how the engagement is so much better. I can only imagine. But
then it got to a point where every time I would talk, they thought it was leading into an ad read. So then, like, I would say something funny, and then nobody laughed, and I was like, just looking, and they're like, "Oh, God damn it, we thought it was going to be an ad read."
Between that,
so then I was like, "It's starting to get disruptive, buddy, because we don't know when it's a joke or it's an ad read." And I was like, "Yeah, we'll back it up."
What's funny about it is as soon as you said Dollar Shave Club, like I had like 2 or 3 ad reads in my head that you did, and as soon as you said Tom Crean, I'm like, "Oh shit!" And the fact that I can connect Dollar Shave Club to that Tom Crean thing is the best like advertisement like a company can get, because now every time I think of Todd, you know what I mean? Yeah, it just ties everything together.
Razor blades, Tom Crean, Todd Mccomas. Like you literally changed the industry that is going across not just Barstool, but like all industries. Because SeatGeek, SeatGeek is still doing that with Pat and everything, and they're promoting like doing a personalized ad read, not just this scripted bullshit.
You know what was cool for a long run there? I think I was still living in the apartment with Sean behind Morty's, but I would get tagged all the time from listeners who were tagging me and Bill Burr together, because Bill Burr started doing ads that way. Not because he heard me, but obviously he just thought the same thing. I need to make these entertaining. So they were calling me, the ad king. It was always hashtag ad king. And then it started being me and Bill Burr on there, and they were like, who's better at ad reads? Is it Bill Burr or Todd? And I'm like, holy shit. I'm just fucking tagged in the same fucking tweet as Bill Burr. Like, it was like, it's always wondered, like, is Bill Burr like, who in the fuck is Todd Mccomas?
When you had a cadence about it, and like, so I remember was it the Omaha Steaks one where it was like, oh fuck, I don't remember which one, but it was like naming off numbers of things, like 2 steaks, 2 au gratin potatoes. I remember I would like find myself listening to it in a tractor, saying it back. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like this guy's got it so dialed in. Like I fucking know the ad he's gonna say in it, like with a cadence. That's just memorable shit. You don't hear that.
I never understood how Omaha Steaks made any money either, because they away literally like 4 steaks, 7 beef patties, and all this. You get through this long list of shit they're giving you, and they're like, and use our promo code Heartland for you get all that for $3.
98% off. Yeah,
like 98%. I can tell you how they made money, because they're not a sponsor. So here's the secret: when you sign up for that, because I did this. You sign up for a 3-month or a 6-month subscription that you have to cancel at the end of that promo. Well, guess what? If you don't fucking cancel it, you're getting 6 months of steak sent to your place, whether you want it or not. And you're paying for it.
So it's like Columbia Records, but for steak?
Yes.
Yeah.
EMG, you get those 10 packs of CDs for $12, and they just
I was living with a good friend of mine who farms, and they sell meat. Like they butcher on farm and they retail it, off the farm as locally grown meat and all that. He was getting fucking pissed because I was getting Omaha steaks sent to the farm that he lived in. He's like, dude, what the fuck? Like, we have a brand here and this is not cool. And I was like, I did it to support these fucking people I don't know on a podcast once, so I had to literally give it away to my fucking friends and family as gifts, because I got 6 fucking months worth of Omaha steaks. So shout out Omaha Steaks for making me the cool guy in the family, because I had the best gifts. But God damn it, that's how they make money.
Well, I don't know if you guys know this. Todd's been revolutionizing a lot of stuff. I don't know this, but Todd was the first guy ever to put this finger up a girl's butthole. He did it I think it was 1987. Yeah, he was the first guy ever to do that. And then he started telling people. It started in Shelbyville and it expanded out. So
Todd Poke.
What's funny though, Bowers, is that style that I took to those ad reads there was all because, remember on the TNT Dynamite Party Hour, we had 2 sponsors. We had McLaughlin window coverings, because Tim McLaughlin was on our podcast and his dad owned McLaughlin window coverings, and then we had West Construction.
Our rods are well hung.
Yeah. So we would just bleed into the ads that way with them, and then we always had these funny like catchphrases we'd create for them and stuff. So I remember that, because now I remember telling Pat, I was like, well, we used to do this on our old podcast, and he's like, yep, just do it. I was like, okay.
Well, and honestly, guys, that's what I'll say to you. Like what you're doing right now is cool, because this is what we did. We did this for, fucking 2.5 years, and it got Todd specifically ready to do this. Like, he was good at it. By the time he got a platform where, because, Pat had never done it, so Todd at least had the fucking expertise in the 2.5 years, the 1,000 hours or whatever they say, to fucking be ready to go. When he had this opportunity, he could just fucking do it, And so that's kind of where, like, the show I'm on now, I feel like I got a lot of practice being on that show, being on the TNT Dynamite Party Hour, because there's something pressureful about being recorded that's different than when you're not. When you're just talking, hanging out. So you don't want to flub up words. You don't want to fuck things up. You want to say the thing right. And you learn to think more quickly, and like how to kind of tag somebody and bring them into the conversation and make fun of them a little without really crushing them, but having fun and making inside jokes that everybody kind of starts to get. We learned how to do that with literally an audience of 30. The last podcast we ever did, like, we did this podcast for 4 years. We had over 100 episodes, I think. And we finally did a live episode at Morty's, and nobody showed up. Not one single person showed up. And we're like, oh, fuck, no one listens to this, do they? And like Pat, the only person that showed up was Pat. Pat was the only, Matt McAfee was the only guy to show up to our live podcast. And we kind of just took the heart out of us. So don't do a live one. That'll discourage you. But doing this and learning how to do it is really good, because then when you get that opportunity, whether it's as a group or individually, you've got the fucking expertise to fucking slide right in and know what you're doing.
Yeah.
We only started doing it. But the rest of you guys will fucking know what you're doing, which is cool.
And we only started doing it because we were like, we hadn't been on Bob and Tom yet. And we knew, like, when you get on Bob and Tom, it's all about that first impression. So we were like, hey, if we do this, it'll be good practice for that radio muscle, and then we'll be better prepared for when we do get passed to be on Bob and Tom, and we'll be able to
and it worked.
Do better, get to go back. And by the time we got on Bob and Tom, we'd been podcasting for 2 years. It was like, oh, this is no problem. Yeah.
So you're saying be clear of mind and don't drink like 3 Knob Creeks and 2 Bud Heavies and some edibles and stuff.
You can get drunk every so often. I mean, at some point, I threw up on air at one point. Because I was so fucking hungover, I smelled tequila and I threw up.
We had Alex Raimundo on, and he was pretty big at the time. He's one of the original Latin Kings of comedy, and he drinks just tequila on the rocks. And Bowers had gotten destroyed the night before, man. I think literally you probably woke up just to drive to the club
No, I think it was drinking Christmas. I started drinking at noon. That was the year I did. It was the first day of NCAA basketball, and so usually I get really drunk, and I was like, I got a new plan. I'm going to do no beer, just shots. Because I used to try to do all beer, no shots, and that didn't work because I'd always fall off the wagon and do shots. So I did all shots, no beer. So I would do it every time I did a shot. I would drink a full bottle of water. And so from noon when I went to the bar till I got to Morty's after the show at like 10 to do the podcast. So it'd been 10 hours. I'd had 27 shots, and I was, but I also had 27 bottles of water over 10 hours. So I was like, I was all right, but I was a little like queasy, and fucking, he brought that glass of tequila across my nose, and I was like, oh!
It was so funny, dude.
Ran outside and threw up into the bushes while they're recording me throw up on the podcast.
Yeah, we carried a microphone out there. You could hear him on the podcast going, it was so funny, dude. Because you were like, oh, seriously, dude. You can't drink that because I'm about to get sick just looking at it. And then, of course, that's all we had to hear. And he's like, ooh, and waving it in front of his face. And he just takes off running.
Yeah. That was as funny as the time where you and I had been drinking all day and we had to rally for whatever reason. And we're at Morty's and I'm like, hey, I got to throw up, man. You're like, I got to throw up too. Let's just go out in the parking lot and throw. So we just go out in the parking lot. We both stick our fingers out. We're like, we're both throwing up in the parking lot. We're just start dying laughing.
We start laughing while we're puking like a belly laugh.
The more we laughed while puking, the funnier it was. It was
So I'm starting to realize this is a fucking thing for you two, because Bowers, the first time that I met you was when Todd we ended up in Terre Haute.
Oh yeah,
Marshall. You were in Marshall, Illinois.
Yeah, the winery.
Yeah, the winery. So you guys did that with Vibbs. So I was there that night, and I went with you guys to Terre Haute to that bar, and then the Barstool guys had bought everybody Boilermakers, and Vibbs and Todd both drank them, and then they immediately both went to the bathroom, and then Vibbs made it to the toilet first, so Todd started throwing up in a plant. And so I was just kind of like standing guard for him just so like he could like finish, and then he just kind of like cleaned up and like just went back and started drinking. And I was like, oh, this is just a thing that they do. They just fucking hurl it all
puke
out.
And rally, baby.
Yeah, puke and rally. Puke and rally.
That was a hell of a night. I remember that.
Thing.
Yeah. Because we had the whole bar to ourselves, the whole upstairs.
Yeah, whole upstairs.
Oh, yeah. Oh, good times.
I'm a morning after puker. Like if I get drunk, I'm never going to puke the night of. But I almost plan on the next morning. I just like walk in, take a piss or a shit, and I just, all right, well, it's time to puke.
It's really hard for me to puke. It's I almost have to force myself.
Yeah, I puked the next day twice in my life.
Yeah.
Once in college when I worked at a law firm, and then my first iPhone, which was an iPhone 4, was because I threw up all over my BlackBerry the next morning. I had to get a new phone.
God.
But,
no, I'm the same way, Tanner. Like I'll puke the next morning, and I puke so aggressively. My wife has thought I was dying multiple times while I'm puking.
I've bursted blood vessels, and this was terrible because it was the morning of a very important job interview with the company I now work for. But all my buddies, I went back to my college. Took my fraternity brothers out. I was the kid who had a real job, blah blah blah, and they got me hammered and on my dime, which kind of sucked, but. Then I knew I had a fucking 8 o'clock interview and I had to drive like 45 minutes to get there. So I woke up just fine. The early morning wasn't the problem. I'm taking a shower and I was in the fraternity shower and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta puke my guts out. And I knew I didn't want to like screw up their morning routine. So I just puked in the shower. Like I had to clean up puke during the shower before. No big deal. So I just finished about my business, and then I was walking out. I had in my shirt and tie. I'm walking to go get my pickup to go to this interview. And I have to puke again. I'm like, fuck, I've never puked in a shirt and tie. Do I take my tie off? What do I do here? And so I'm like trying to take my tie off, and these guys are trying to say goodbye to me because, it's a kid who just came back. I'm like, guys, shut the fuck up. Like, get out. And I ended up puking all over my fucking tie because they wouldn't let me get my shit off. So I showed up to that job interview with a suit jacket, no tie, top button open, and they commented on it. They're like, that's a bit different look. We've never really seen that before. And I looked at them like, I was in River Falls last night, and they say no more.
I was a big puker when I was younger. Like Bailey is too. So same way. But then some reason I got a little bit older, and I couldn't hardly puke anymore. Like even when I'm like flu sick, it's hard for me to puke. But like when I was in the Marine Corps one time, we were at military police school, and I was our class leader. So every morning we get up, and I would have to call cadence for the run. So I'm by the side by our squad, and I'm singing cadence while we're running. And I'd blackout drunk like every night that I was there. There was a little bar outside the gate. We would go there every night, and I would never remember coming home. I would black out every night. So we get up, we run, and I'm singing, and they repeat everything I say. I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4, I love the Marine Corps. And they'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, I love the Marine Corps. And then I puked, I remember. And then those smart asses, they started like acting like they were puking, like because they had to do what I was saying.
Left, right, bleh, left, right, bleh, bleh.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fucking great.
Oh shit.
That's hilarious. Guys, I'm gonna tell you one last story that I gotta get out of here because Chris has been sitting on the couch by herself for 3 hours. But this has been fun. I'll tell you this last story. This is like my grossest story from college, but it makes me laugh and it kind of fits. So I had a fraternity brother lived in the house. We had a small fraternity house, like 3 bedrooms, 6 people. And one night we go out to Dill Street, right? And we go to this bar, and my buddy meets this chick, and he's browned out. He kind of remembers a little bit of remembers talking to her, remembers dancing with her, gets her back to the fraternity house, remembers making out with her a little bit, and then he just fucking wakes up. He just passed out. He wakes up in bed. She's gone, but she is shit in his bed. And I don't mean like a liquidy, like a log of shit is on his pillow, right? No. And we hear him go, "What the fuck?" And he's on his pillow, and he's losing his goddamn mind. He's like, "That's what the fuck?" And we go upstairs. We run up there because we think he's stabbed to death or something, right? He's like, "This fucking girl, she fucking, oh my god!" We're like, "Oh my god, that's fucking gross." He fucking so freaked. He burns his sheets. He doesn't even want to have anything to do with her anymore. He sets them on fire in a garbage can in the backyard or whatever. He's just so pissed. So for a year, he's bitching about a year. He's like, "This fucking bitch. Remember that time that girl?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember the time. Calm down." So one night we're at Dill Street again. And he fucking sees her. It's literally a year later. He goes, "Oh my god, dude, that's that girl." I go, "What girl?" "The one that shit in my bed." I'm like, "Oh fuck." I go, "You should go say something." He goes, "I'm gonna go fucking say something." So he goes over and he taps on the shoulder and turns around and he goes, "Remember me?" She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You shit in my bed, you crazy asshole." And she goes, "You know why I shit in your bed, dickhead?" He goes, "No." She goes, "You puked in my pussy." He went down on her, threw up, and then immediately passed out. She had to wash out her pussy in a fraternity shower. She goes, "I was so pissed, I waited 2 hours just so I could shit in your bed, you dick." He was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Can I buy you a drink?" And they're fucking married now.
Oh,
Yes. Holy shit.
Fucking 17 years of marriage. This fucking meet cute was him fucking puking at her pussy.
That's incredible.
oh.
God.
With that, Bowers, we are going to wrap up. Holy shit.
That's
was awesome.
great.
Thank you so much, Chris and Todd, for jumping on. It was a pleasant surprise to see you, Todd.
Yeah, good to see you, Todd. This was fun.
Anytime.
Can we please plug your socials? Todd, you have a laundry list, so let Chris go first.
If you want to see my streaming show, that's at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, called the Social Distance and Social Club. Again, me, Ben Glebe, Steve Hofstetter, and we have 2 comics every single show. Super funny. You can go to laughfromhome.com or sdscshow.com to find the links. It's on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook. It just streams live. So you can check those out. If you want to buy tickets, you can come sit in the front row and be in the actual Zoom list. We have an actual Zoom audience, which is kind of cool. So laughfromhome.com or sdscshow.com. At Bowers Comedy is my Instagram, Chris Bowers Facebook, all that good stuff. I think I'm friends with most of you guys on Facebook, so if they know you, they'll know. It'll be a mutual friend or whatever. And then Dockheads, that's our new thing. Dockheads, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia this week, came out today. So check out Dockheads with me and Todd.
Yeah, everybody just go to Dockheads. We need everybody to go to Dockheads. It's a great podcast. If you're into documentaries or not, if you've watched the documentary or not, doesn't matter, because we break it down enough that you can enjoy it either way. So go there. Yep. And I'm at Todd Mccomas on all social media.
All right, perfect. We really appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys.
At Trashman Ronnie, at Marco, or at K Pasa Primo. You're fucking falling asleep on us. That was the banana bread, you bitch. At
Brownie,
JK
motherfucker.
Too
at
many
Tyler Allen.
I had too many brownies. This is the most brownies I've had since I was in elementary school.
I feel like next episode TA is gonna have some pretty fun stories to tell us, but we're gonna save that for next time. I'm at Vanilla Gorilla. Follow at the Anomalies Pod. We're all over Twitter. We try to use other socials, but if you could just like, download, subscribe, rate, review, share, comment, unsubscribe, resubscribe. You know how to do podcasts. We appreciate it. But yeah, we are out of here. Thanks so much. Peace.
See you guys. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Got a fucking moth in my basement.
Is he?
All right, Brian.
Don't invite me to your career day.
Yeah. All right, boys. Thanks. That was fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
In Fun Town.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Have a
one.
good one.
Have a good one.
I remember he's so good, Tyler. Is he?
Oh God, I'm so
Wow,
sorry.
Brian.
Don't invite me to your career day.